If you're looking for something quick, delicious, and something that's going to please every single person in your house, you have got to try this crispy garlic butter shrimp recipe with my stovetop, no bake garlic bread. It comes together in no time, and I promise you, you will be making it again and again. So let's get started with the recipe. But before that, please do consider subscribing to my channel and giving this video a big thumbs up. So the first thing you will need is shrimps, of course, and I prefer using these Argentinian wild shrimps. They are absolutely delicious, and the reason I love them so much is that they don't overcook easily, so that's also a bonus. If you want to ensure the best texture and no smell, I recommend thawing or defrosting them overnight in the fridge in a strainer so that all the extra liquid can drip down. If you want, you can force thaw them in running cold water or hot water, but that's not recommended at all. But of course, if you're in a hurry, sometimes you can do it. Make sure to strain out excess liquid. Just do not put them directly in the pan because it's gonna release a ton of moisture, and the shrimps are not gonna get crispy, and it's gonna become smelly, which nobody likes. So while my shrimps are marinating and they do not require a ton of time to marinate, I'm going to chop my garlic. You can use plain knife, but I had this garlic thingamajig at home, and that's what I'm using to make it really fine. And once that is done, I'm gonna add some corn flour to my shrimps, about 2.5 to 3 tablespoons. I like to add this slowly just so that I know how much I require, because sometimes I might need more than 3 tablespoons and sometimes a little less. So you want it to look something like this. You want your shrimps to have this nice little crust on top and still be dry to the touch. This is what's gonna give it a nice crisp on the top. And I'm using a cast coated pan. You can use a cast iron pan if you have that. It's going to give you great results, or any non-stick pan would do. And I had about a tablespoon of oil over medium heat. Once that was heated, I added my shrimps on the top, and you don't want to flip them around too much. Just let them cook until you start seeing a slight brown edging, just like here. And then all you do is turn it. It might take anywhere between 3 to 5 or even 6 minutes depending on the size of the shrimp. And we're not cooking them 100%. You want them done maybe 80 to 90%, and you want them to have a nice crunchy crust on the top, because we're still gonna toss them in the garlic butter, and the heat from that are going to cook it further. This also ensures that it's not overcooked, but if you want to skip the garlic butter, trust me, you can, because these are divine even at this point. I usually munch down a couple before I toss them in the garlic. So in the same pan, I am adding about a tablespoon or 2 of unsalted butter. And once it's kind of melted, I add in the garlic, and you want to cook it till it's fragrant and it has a light goldenish sheen to it. You don't want to brown it too much, because then it's gonna become bitter. So once it's at that stage, this is where we're going to add in the shrimps. And if you want to make them spicy, you can also add red chili flakes with your garlic. It's really nice. I didn't add any because today I'm making these for my 7-year-old who specially requested these. So all you do is cook your shrimps for maybe a minute or a minute and a half till you see it's all cooked through. You can look at the middle where the spine line is. You can see that if it's fully white, that means the shrimp is cooked and it's time to take it out. You can keep basting it with the butter so that it can absorb all of that delicious garlickiness and the butter itself. And if you want, you can pour this over the shrimps, but what I like to do is I turn this into garlic bread. If you have a baguette, that is even better, but I had this plain regular bread at home, which is what I'm using. And at this point, before adding the bread, make sure that your pan is on low heat, because the lower the heat, the more crispy it's gonna get. And if you need more butter, you can definitely add more butter. And if you need some Italian seasoning, you can do it too at this point. And once it's super crispy, like you can hear, Take it off the pan and serve immediately and enjoy. I like to serve it with some fresh lemons. That little bit of fresh lime that hits on the top, it really elevates the flavor. You can add some fresh cut parsley or chives for decoration and extra flavoring, but that's completely optional. So here you go. Super delicious 10-minute garlic butter shrimps ready to be enjoyed and devoured. So if you enjoyed this recipe, please do give it a big thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. It really means the world to me. It's a big motivator and it really helps me create more content for you guys. And also don't forget to share your recreations with me on my Instagram page, which is by the same name, the homemaker baker _ Falak Khalid. Until next time, the homemaker baker over and out.